As you see from the from my slide at the back, you'll see, of course, my we were talking to Lisa earlier. Um, I retired. I'm a physician actually, and I retired a long time ago. And I went and lived in Mesa and played golf and was in the under the sun. And then I developed my passion, of course, was in computers. And this since starting Tech for Seniors, we now broadcast to 6 different countries. We've got 5 people working on the project, and we have 2 shows, 2 live shows a week. We have a podcast and over 500 videos on YouTube. So I'm now back at work. The difference is I don't get paid for this, whereas I got paid back when I was working. So it's a challenging time, but I'm having really a ball with it. So I do spend most of my life on YouTube, working in YouTube, and our staff does as well. So I have a lot of knowledge about YouTube. If anybody has any questions, we can certainly talk about any technical stuff as to broadcasting, live broadcasting, YouTube, or any questions about YouTube. I'm more than happy to answer. I make a lot of YouTube videos because, of course, I'm on there a lot. So I picked a few out today. Lisa and I talked about it. We picked a few out, and I'm gonna play some, and we'll see if we'll play it. I think the easiest thing is we'll just play it, and then you can see if see what you think, and maybe we'll have a bit of question and answer after each video. Okay, so the first one I'm going to play is called my tips for using YouTube. So we'll start that and we'll see how it goes. So this should, let me just get this organized here. We'll share sound. Bring this up. My tips and use of YouTube. Today, I want to talk a little bit about my use of YouTube, how important I think it is, and give you some tips. So let's get started. What is YouTube? Well, there are 3 words that come to mind. There's YouTube, which is, of course, the free service that we all use. There's YouTube Premium. What is YouTube Premium? YouTube is supported by ads. And so YouTube Premium is $10 a month, and that removes the ads out of the YouTube videos. So if you want ad-free videos, then it is a paid service. I have that service. I spend most of my life in YouTube, so I enjoy that. I enjoy that service. Now there's YouTube TV. YouTube TV is a subscription service. We're not going to talk about YouTube TV. I think it's an excellent service, but that is not the talk today. Today the talk is about YouTube. So let's get started. Where do you find YouTube? Well, YouTube, of course, is on your desktop. It's on your mobile phone, and it's on your tablet. But most important, YouTube should be on your television. It is an app on your television. If you have a Roku device, if you have a Chromecast or a Fire TV, the apps will be really easy to find and see. If you have a smart TV without those devices, then you'll have to look in your menu system to find the YouTube app, but it will be there. All smart TVs have YouTube as an app on them, so you can access YouTube from your television. Now my day starts in the morning. I get up pretty early, around 5 o'clock, and I go out into the kitchen and I turn on the TV, and I like to watch the CBC Evening News, which was taped from the night before. This, of course, is on YouTube. You're going to say to me, well, why didn't you PVR it off the television and use it that way? Well, then there are a lot of ads on television, and so I'd have to fast forward through all the ads. So I use, I like to watch the CBC Evening News in the morning when I get up. Now, the next, after the kitchen duties occur, then I like a little quiet time, usually between 6 and 8. I sit in my chair and I usually go over, check important email. I subscribe to over 330 different channels on YouTube, so I like to see what people have created. So I spend a lot of time looking over different YouTube videos that people have created. These could be technical, or cooking or whatever I'm interested in. And then, of course, I look at the news wire service for any technology issues that or articles that have come up. And that's how I spend my mornings. Then it's off to the office I go. That's where I'm sitting today. This is on the main floor of our home, and that's a picture of my office. I'm very busy in the morning. There's Zooming, phone calls, there's updating my calendar, presentations, there's planning the Tech for Seniors show, there's editing lots of websites, and also looking at many of the presentations that I've been developing. All of these features, all of these services that I'm involved with involve YouTube. So I'm on YouTube all morning. Then lunch comes, and I have lunch with Gail. Now they go back upstairs, and we have a nice lunch together. And usually we like to laugh. And I don't want to watch the news all day. That can be very depressing. But you know, on YouTube there are a lot of funny shows. There's All in the Family, Hogan's Heroes, The Jeffersons, The Dean Martin Show, The Carol Burnett Show. Lots of funny shows to make us laugh. So I have a good laugh at lunch. That's so important. Then it's back to the office around 1 o'clock, and I spend my time doing presentations. I edit my presentations, create new ones. I have about 25 active presentations that I'm constantly reevaluating and changing. And again, these are all on YouTube, so I spend my afternoon in YouTube as well. Usually about 2:30, I'm sort of computered out, so usually at that time I'm off for a walk or doing some gardening or some other stuff around the house. But I have to be back around 4 o'clock. If it's my turn to cook that night, then that's my cooking time as I start around 4 o'clock. Now, if you're interested in cooking, I can tell you that there are an unlimited number of recipes on YouTube. It's incredible. Anything you want to cook, you just say it, and there's somebody that's got lots of recipes on that. So it's a wealth of knowledge if you're into cooking. Cooking techniques are explained. Gordon Ramsay has a channel on there who's talking. There's Jamie Oliver. Two of my favorite channels are The Hungry Hussy. He's an interesting guy who does cooking on a Blackstone grill. Very popular, big following, and I always like to watch his cooking show. And then there's Sam the Cooking Guy. He's an interesting fella. He's a Canadian that lives in San Diego and has a restaurant, and he's got over 1 million subscribers now, and he produces daily shows on cooking tips. And it's interesting to see how well he's done, particularly in the COVID times. And as I prepare dinner, I often turn on a show, but again, it's a YouTube show. This was the Michael Daniels show, and this was Chris Gould from Geeks on Tour talking, and she was talking about the Pixel phone and the upcoming charges that Google Photos is going to have, and how the Pixel phone you'll have free uploads with the Pixel phone, and that prompted the email that I sent out to everyone last week. So usually I'm preparing dinner. Again, I have a YouTube channel on, and I'm listening to some various show. But again, it's on YouTube. So how do we get started? How do you get started on YouTube? Well, you go to YouTube, right? And this is sort of what you would be, the first homepage. This is your homepage on YouTube. Now you'll see some videos here on the page, and these are videos that YouTube thinks you might like. Now, the more you go, the more they understand what you like. On the left-hand side, you'll see home, you'll see trending, subscriptions, originals, library, history. We'll go through some of those a little bit later, but this is sort of your home page. So you're going to go and you're going to be looking at some videos. which you might find interesting. Now, once you find a video that you're interested in, what you're going to do is you're going to save it, so you can come back to it again and watch it again. So I'm going to show you how to bookmark it. I'm going to show you how to save it to a playlist or a folder, or I'm going to show you how to share it now. Okay, so let's look at how we might do this. So this is a video called 23 Ways Seniors Need Alexa. So we're going to come up, and if you look at the top here, you'll see there's a URL associated with that. This is a website. So each video has its own website. So we're going to come over and to the right side here, and we're just going to bookmark it. So there we go. We just clicked on the little star, and we're going to click done, and now we have it bookmarked. So let's look at our bookmark menu. We're going to come down. This is the bookmark that we just created. Now this is we're going to save this to a playlist or a folder. So we can, you'll wonder, what the heck is a playlist? Well, we'll call it a folder. But so we're going to come over here and we're going to hit save. And we're going to hit watch later. One of the things that I would encourage you to do, this is a default folder that you have. And I would encourage you, if you're looking at videos, you'll really want to save it to a watch later folder. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So here we are. We're going to make up a new folder called Seniors Info. And we're going to now come down and we can make it public so everyone can see it. Anyone can see and search. Or we're going to make it unlisted, so you have to have the link to be able to see it. Or it's going to be private and only you can see it. So let's go ahead and create this. We'll hit the create button. And now we've created that. So let's go back to our save button here, and you'll see that it's now saved to under watch later, and it's also saved in the folder, or what we'll call that, a playlist in the menu. One of the interesting things is as you move around through the menus in YouTube, and you'll see lots of interesting videos, I would encourage you to save it to the watch later button there, because YouTube constantly changes these videos, and if you come back and try to find a video that you might have been interested in looking at, it's gone and it's being replaced by another one, and you'll never find it again. So if I have an interesting video that I want, I'll always click and put it in the watch later playlist or folder. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now, let's talk about home screen saving. All right, so we're back at our home screen, and let's come along, and these are the various videos that you have, and let's look at this one about Instapot here. So we can say, okay, let's have a look at this. This is by 6 Sisters. They do a lot of work with Instapot. So you see the little 3-dot menu there. Click this, and now you can add it to the queue. So if you want to queue a bunch of videos up to watch, that's great. You can save it to the watch later. Remember, we talked about that. Or we can save it to a playlist. So we have 3 options that we can do right with the video when we're watching it. All right, let's talk about playlists. This is our home page again, and these are some of the, there's the library, the history. As we come down, these are what we call playlists. So let's go to Seniors Info, which we made. We're going to click on this, and I've added a few more videos here. So within our folder, or we can call it a playlist, there are a number of videos that I've added. So with that playlist or folder, there are a number of videos, and you can see this is I've now made this a public playlist, so everyone can see all our videos that we want. So how are we going to send this or transfer this to someone else? Well, if you look at top there, you'll see that the playlist is just a URL, right? So we're going to come along and we're going to save this. And we'll just click save again. Remember, we saved the video before, but now we're saving the playlist. So now if we come down at the bottom, we will see this is the playlist that we saved, and I'm going to drag it up to the bookmark bar. And there we have the playlist. So if we come over and we open another window, then of course it goes away, but when we click on that playlist, it comes up again. And guess what's over here? If we come along the bookmark bar on the left hand side here, we'll come over in a minute here, come on over to the left. What's TFS? It's Tech for Seniors. Yes, we have a playlist, and that has all the videos of Tech for Seniors on there, and that's a quick way that I look at all our videos. You'll find the playlist URL in all our newsletters. It's on our website. So all you have to do is put that in and save it as a bookmark, and you will have all the Tech for Seniors videos available for you. Now, suppose you wanted to send an email to someone with the seniors info that we just had. Well, we could send the playlist, we could send a specific video URL, or we could send a link. Let's see how to do this. All right, so let's we're at home now, and you're going to see this again. This is the playlist, right? And this is the URL, and this is the playlist with our 3 videos in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. Right click and copy. And we're going to put it into an email. And it's going to say send the playlist, and we just put the link there. That's the link to the playlist. And that will send the list for those 3 videos, okay? But let's suppose we just wanted to send this one video, 23 Ways Seniors Need It. Well, when we click on that video, this is the video playing. If we come down, we'll see this is the 23 Ways Seniors Need Alexa. Let's go up to the URL again. This is the URL for that video. So let's just copy it. We'll take this and we'll copy it over. And we're going to copy it. And we're going to paste that, and we're going to send, this is the URL just for that specific video. And we can now paste that and send that. But we can also send a specific unique video link. If we come back to the movie, and let's look down here, and you see this little button called Share. If we click on Share, this gives us a unique Google identification that can be moved into any of those above. We'll hit the select and copy and paste.
Here's what I found on the web.
Shorter than that. It's a short and abbreviated version for you. All right, let me show you a little trick. Let's say we wanted to send 23 Ways Seniors Need A. So if I come down and we click the Insert button, and we're going to insert a link, and this pops up. Let's come over and take our URL from the video. We're going to copy this. We're then going to paste it into that link, and we're going to hit OK. And now you don't have to put that in there. It's a clickable link. You just click on that, and that's going to take you right to that video. Pretty cool, eh? That's neat. You'll see that being done on websites, and certainly I send that out in a lot of our newsletters. You just click the link. Now here we are back at the our video. I always think it's nice, if you enjoy the video, you should click on the like button. That's important because that helps with the ranking and the search for YouTube videos. And also you can subscribe. So what does it mean when you subscribe? Well, it means that in your subscription menu that I showed you before, you will get any new videos that are produced by this individual will be in your subscriptions folder. So that's pretty cool. So you can keep, it's a way of keeping there. You'll see come down here and you'll see home, you'll see the trending, but this is the subscriptions. So if you click this these are the subscriptions that you have subscribed to. And as I said, I've done over 330 subscriptions. So these are all the videos and people who produce content that I'm interested in. And you can also, Tech for Seniors has their own YouTube channel. You can certainly subscribe to that as well. Now, when you watch a video, I'd like you to look at this. This is episode 35 of Tech for Seniors. You should always look at the Show More button at the bottom. You'll see the information about the video, but when you click on that, you'll see that another box opens up and you can see the Show More. And this is all these are links, these are time chapter links to specific points in the video. And you can just click on that and it will take you right to the point in the video that you want. A lot of YouTube creators use these, and it makes it very easy. And all Tech for Seniors have this in the Show More section, and that will take you right to the specific part of the video that you want to see.
I hope you've enjoyed this video on YouTube. The power of YouTube is incredible. In closing, I'd like to show you a short video on Project Atticus. Some of you have seen this before, but this is about Jordan and Desiree. 5 years ago, they bought an old fixer-up boat for $5,000 and now are traveling the world. I'm part of the sponsorship for them, and they are traveling the world in their sailboat. They produce high-quality YouTube videos.
I'm going to stop the share there. I'll tell you why I'm stopping it there in a minute. All right. So I hadn't watched that video for a while. Of course, I made it a couple of years ago. I had a few thoughts that I jotted down that I wanted to bring up, and then we can open it up to any questions that you have. The first was, we talked about playlists. And the playlists were, and of course, playlists are really helpful, particularly if you make content or you have a lot of produced videos, because it's a way of putting them in a list, and it's an easy shareable list that you can share, and you can embed it in websites or do whatever you want. So if I wanted to send Lisa a list of all my greatest recipes that I do at dinner time, I could just send her the link and away it would go, and she would have all those. And that's what a playlist is. And also, as when I save a video to YouTube, I can include it in that playlist. So all as Lisa would have to do is save that playlist to her as a bookmark, and any videos I made in the future would automatically be added to that playlist. So she wouldn't have to. She wanted to keep track of all my recipes that I added to that playlist. She wouldn't have to do anything. As I added the recipes to the playlist, then it automatically would populate whoever had the playlist. So that's a cool way of keeping updated. And it also, if you have a computer club and you put a playlist for whatever you want on your computer club's website, as you save videos to the playlist, they automatically get updated. Before I started doing that, each new video I found that was great, then I had to manually go onto the website and copy and paste it in, and to have a whole list of all my favorite videos on the website. Now that you don't have to do that, just make the playlist and keep it there. However, there's a downside to playlists, and I wanted just if you're not a producer of videos and you don't have how will I put it, and you're not really producing content, I'm not sure that saving a playlist or creating a playlist to save videos, like I was describing all my recipes for dinner, and to save them as a playlist. The problem with playlists were never designed that way, and I sort of got caught with this because now I have over 300 playlists, and Google does not let you search the playlists. In other words, you can't quickly find a playlist. So if I find a great recipe and I want to save it to my recipes dinner playlist, then I've got to go through 300 300 playlists to try and find that specific playlist. And you'd think, come on, Google, you're a search company. Like, why can't you just put a search in and bingo, you would find it, right? And and what was pointed out to me when one of the seminars I was at was that playlists were never designed to be bookmarks or folders where you stored stuff in. Playlists were designed to be for content creators to send lists for websites and stuff like that. So if you're starting out in YouTube and you're looking and you want to start saving some things, the best way to do it is just bookmark the video. And you can bookmark the video, make a folder called recipes for dinner, and then just bookmark the video into that folder. And you can search the folders, you can move the folders all around. It works perfectly, right? It's a lot simpler than making playlists. And I got caught because now I've got all my playlists, made all these 300 playlists that really that just are difficult to maneuver around, and it doesn't look like Google's going to make that any easier. So I thought I'd just bring that thing that well, I taught
Ron, you're cutting in and out. Yeah.
Oh, my internet just recently.
I've asked 30 seconds.
Okay, I think, is it better now?
So far, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's goofy internet. Although I got a gigabyte connection, who knows? The second thing I wanted to mention was we talked about using YouTube on your TV, which I think is really important. If you do not have YouTube on your TV, you're missing a big part of the fun of having YouTube. The other thing, you should put it on your phone. And it is really, many of you you probably all have smartphones, and smartphones of course, do a lot of different things. One of the things I listen to a lot on my smartphone is podcasting. Many of you probably have listened to podcasts on your phone, and podcasts, of course, are an audio, right? It's an audio file that you're going to download and you're going to listen on your phone. What you need to know is YouTube is an app that can be maybe it's on your phone, or you can certainly download and install YouTube on your phone. So that's pretty cool. Now, the question you're going to ask me right again, you're going to say, well, what's the difference between a podcast and a YouTube video you're watching on your phone? Suppose you want to go for a walk and you want to listen to a podcast. Well, you all know if you listen to a podcast, excuse me, on your walk, that you download that podcast file onto your phone, so you don't need to be connected to the internet, right? You don't need to be connected to, so you don't use any bandwidth. So you can go and listen to your podcast, and you'll have a great walk. You listen to your podcast and come home. And you say, I don't want to use YouTube, because if I use YouTube and I want to listen to a show, then I'm going to use that data while I'm walking. Well, YouTube changed recently in this past year, and you now can download the YouTube files onto your phone. So if you want to go for a walk and you want to listen to a YouTube video, which oftentimes YouTube videos are simply ones that they've converted to podcasts, but of course you have the screen that you can watch. But if you just want to listen to the show, then you now can, through YouTube, you can download it onto your smartphone, and it's there for you to listen to, and you're not using bandwidth when you're walking. The download feature is a new feature that just occurred this last year in YouTube. So they allow you to download it right onto your phone. So you may consider, if you're not using YouTube on your phone, I think that I know in the mornings, I listen to Leo Laporte. I've listened to him, the Tech Guy show. I've listened to him for about 15 years, right? I listen to him every morning. And when I'm in the bathroom doing my morning chores, I sort of listen to his podcast on my phone. Well, most recently, I bought this little device here, which puts my phone, I can hold my phone, and it sits on the stand, and I can so it's a television, right? I can watch all my YouTube videos right on my phone. right in the bathroom, so you can move it around and you have it all available for you. So you might want to consider, if you're not using YouTube on your phone, then that's a pretty important thing. All right, any questions? Or if not, we'll move on to the second video. Does anyone have anything? Anyway, really, I just really, please try out YouTube on your TV. If you're not using it, it's you are really missing a big part of what you've got. Anybody have any questions? Put up their hand, open up, say, yeah, I got a question. If not, we'll move on to can you make money with you?
Question?
Yep, go ahead.
You were talking about how easy it was to add to these playlists, and then that bookmark would give you access to not only what was there when you first made the bookmark, but everything that got added to the playlist. What about removing things from playlists? If there's something you really want, are you in danger of losing the opportunity to see that later if you don't do it some other way?
Well, so what I said in the video is, first of all, when you look at your big group of videos that YouTube has chosen from you, and you say, oh man, I want to look at that, right? And what I would encourage you to do is click the button and save it to play later, because then it's going to be in that list of play later, okay? Because if you go then and watch some other videos and you think, I want to watch that video again, you go back, it's a totally different set of videos, right? And you'll never find that one that you wanted to watch. So you got to snag it right away when you want to watch it. With a playlist, you can just toggles, just check and uncheck the playlist. Within the video, you just can save it to the playlist or not. It's just a toggle switch. You just turn that on or off for that particular video. So you have the choice that once you make a playlist, the playlist is always there. But bookmarks, but remember, each video has its own URL. So you can say, so instead of doing the lists, the playlist, you can just save it to a folder in your browser, right? Just save that, and that would be a link to that video, and you can make as many folders. And you've all made lots of folders in your browser, in your bookmarks, and you can bookmark and save it to folders. And that's probably the easiest way to go, I think.
Okay. But you do, excuse me, I'm sorry, but you do remove things from the playlist you put out, right? Does that not remove them from?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I don't think you got what I meant.
Yeah, so could the owner of the playlist remove videos from the play? Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely correct on that. I don't, in my workflow, I can't remember one time when I've ever removed a video. Well, no, that's not entirely true. I sometimes save it to the wrong playlist, and I come up and it's Tech for Senior playlist, and I've got something for cooking on it, right? And I think, oh crap, it's the wrong playlist. So I do that. I mean, so you're right. You're absolutely correct. Is that someone could remove the video if the owner of the playlist removed the video off the playlist, you wouldn't have it anymore. You're right. You're absolutely correct.
Could I ask a question?
Go ahead, Leo.
Now, what do you think of the way I think I explained to me at one time is that you need to go, the best way is to go to Google, through Google, and then save me through Google. And, it's easier to, is it easier to save that and start your work through Google, or it sounds like you just go right to the.
Well, Google is YouTube, right? YouTube owns Google. I mean, it is the same company. So I showed you different ways of saving them there. You can save that either as a bookmark. Doesn't matter if you're using Netscape, you're in Apple, you're using Safari. It doesn't, you're using, doesn't matter what you're using, Firefox. It doesn't matter what you're using as a browser. You can simply save the YouTube, the video into your bookmarks. It's just like a website. You got to think of a YouTube video is just a website. That's all it is. It's a link to a website. Think of it like that, okay? And it's each video has its own unique website or URL, if you want to call that, and that can be saved into your bookmarks.
Yeah. Thanks.
So,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're. It doesn't matter where you're, where that is. Now, the only thing that would ever change, to follow up on the original question, is when we produce videos, we can produce them in 3 different ways. We can make them public, which is where we produce them, and of course everyone can see them. I can produce it and make it unlisted. And if it's unlisted, you will need to know the URL for that video before you can see it, right? So for example, the URL that for that video that I just played is public, right? But it could be unlisted, and then you would have to know what it was before you could find it. And then I can certainly make it private, all right? So no one else could see it, other than so no one else can see the video. So there's 3 ways. So you could take a video and you could make it from public to private, and then you wouldn't be able to see it even if you did have the link. But that would be the content creator's choice. Now, the question you're asking me is, what happened at the end of the video? Why didn't we get to see it? What was the problem with that video? Well, that's interesting, because of course that video that I was a video within a video. I had just added that to my video. Well, the music that those people used in their intro was a problem. In other words, the audio track had this music that they'd used in the background for the video that they'd made, and that created a copyright claim on our channel. In other words, it created a copyright problem. And so to resolve that issue, I had to remove the audio track. So if you played that video a little further, there's no audio there. I had to remove all that out to get rid of the claim. So that's a techie issue, but if you go back and look at the video online, there's no audio for that part.
Ron, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I must have missed something in the beginning. Do you bring up a browser and go to YouTube, or do you log on to your Gmail account and then somehow get to YouTube?
So you mean on the TV or on a PC, or?
Well, let's start with just a PC.
A PC? A PC? No, a PC. There's different ways. I have it bookmarked, and I just have it bookmarked to YouTube. I can just share my screen here. Let me just. All right, so if you look at my screen now, if you see this, I bring it up and you'll see at the top here, the top left here, you'll see these are the different YouTube channels I have bookmarked. I could come over here and click this button, and there's the YouTube app here, and I can just click this, and this would bring up YouTube. But I also have, these are, for example, if I wanted to look, I constantly look at Tech for Senior. I want to look at, I'm popping into that playlist all the time. So these are the playlists that are sitting on my book. This is just my bookmark bar. And if I want to look at all the Tech for Senior videos, I just click that, and this brings up, this is a playlist for Tech for Senior. And these are all the videos for Tech for Senior. And I'm in here all the time because I want to quickly find them, right? If I want to look at our Learning Chromebook series, I just click here, and this brings up the playlist for Learning Chromebooks. So if you have the playlist, you can just save it to your bookmark bar and have it right along here, okay? And that's
how did you get the bookmarks there? You obviously had to go into YouTube.
Well, all you do to save a bookmark, you see this little star here? When you come into, let's for example say, let's for example, let me just bring up, let me get out of here, and let's say, let's just say, for example, let's come over. Well, we'll just bring up this one. We're going to come down. So if with this video here that we're playing, this is a YouTube video, you see this little star here on the top right here? It says bookmark this tab.
Yep.
See, you just click bookmark, and this is going to bring up the menu for bookmarking. And you have to remember, I'm in Chrome, so it might be a little bit different which browser you're using, but it says now bookmark added to, and then I can choose the folder that I want it added to, right? So I can come down here, and if I wanted to add it to the bookmark bar, that's this bar here, I can just click that, or I can choose new folder, and I can make a new folder, or I can choose other bookmarks that I have, and I can just put it wherever I want. Okay, and that's how you'd bookmark it.
But you're actually logged into a Gmail account.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So is that the preferable way to do it rather than just bringing up a browser and going to
No,
YouTube?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But it sounds like the Gmail account gives you more flexibility in terms of saving.
No, not really. Your Gmail account, of course, means you're logged into Google, right? But if you're using a Chrome browser, you're logged into Google as well. As long as you're logged into Google, it doesn't matter. But you don't have to be logged into Google to. You could be in Safari, for example, or you could be in Firefox and not logged into Google, and you could still do this, right? It's as long as you're not editing or changing anything, but you could do this as well. But most people, probably like 90% of the people in the world, use Chrome. So as soon as you're logged into Chrome, then you're as soon as you're logged into Chrome, then you're into your Google account, right?
Yeah, I prefer to use Brave as a browser, and I'm just wondering how it would work with that.
Should be fine. Brave is, as I said, all you're doing is bookmarking it. I guess Brave has its bookmark system, and you would just bookmark the video. Remember, the video is just a website. It has its own URL. So just bookmark it. That's all you have to do. Just bookmark it, and then you can go back to it. You don't actually have to log into a Google account to see YouTube. Now you do if you're on TV. If you are on TV and you have the app on your television, you will have to log into your Google account, but that occurs just once when you set it all up, and then you don't have to do it again. And the same thing on your phone. It's a little different because if you have an Android phone, you have to be logged into your Google account. Everybody has a Google account on their Android phone, so it isn't as big a deal. You just it's a non-issue. But if you are using a Brave browser, then you could theoretically not be logged into your Google account, but no problem. Just bookmark it. The playlist I send out, I have a number of playlists. You wonder, well, how would you get the Tech for Senior playlist? Well, it's on our website, and I also send it out in the newsletter, so that and all you have to do is just click it once and then bookmark it, and you have the playlist, right? And then as I update them, then there's no problem.
How do we get on your list?
Oh, you just go to techforsenior.com, www.techforsenior.com, and then there's a big, you'll see it right here. If I share again. You'll see here. This is our website, and where did we put it here? There we go. Just come down here. Tech for Seniors. Right here, it's right on the website. You can just sign up for the newsletter, and we'll send you all the information and keep you updated. So
thank you very much. It's very interesting.
Okay, all right. Let's get on with the second video now. It's not as long, and we'll see how we do with that. Let me just get out of here, and we'll share this. And put it. There we go. This is a video on can you make money with YouTube. This is a brief overview on how it is possible to make money on YouTube. There are many videos produced on courses on how to create your online business on YouTube. These courses can range from several $100s to, in fact, I've seen some up to $10,000. This is not such a course. It's just a brief review of how you could make money on YouTube. So let's have a look at this. There are basically three ways to make money on YouTube. One is through ad revenue, the second is through Patreon sponsorship, and the third is selling personal merchandise and services. YouTube grossed $24 billion in the last quarter. Now the money is made solely on advertising. And I want you to remember that Google is the most commonly used search engine, but YouTube is the second most common. They have roughly 7 billion videos per day. The average length of a video is about 11 minutes, and they have about 500 million watched per day. So it's big business. Advertising on YouTube is big business and their sole source of income for YouTube. We'll talk a lot about ads in a minute, but this is how they work. In this slide, this shows you that the creators create content. There are users, people watching it, and advertisers. YouTube puts these together and allow creators to have advertising so that the users, which would be seen by the users. So everybody that has a Google account can have a YouTube channel. You just have to turn the channel on and you will have a YouTube channel, but not everybody with a YouTube channel can apply to have ads put into their videos. To do that, you have to become a partner with Google and enter into their partnership program. Now, I'm going to sort of rephrase this a little bit. The partnership program really isn't a partnership. What you're going to do is you're going to sign a contract with Google. The contract is really a one-way contract in which you really have no ability to change or dispute, and it can be taken away from you at any time. There are some very stiff rules that you have to abide by, or you get into big trouble. So it's not really a partnership. It's you're going to work for Google. Now, what are the requirements and rules to have your site monetized? Well, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have 4,000 watched hours from the previous year. Now, this is a lot of subscribers, and it usually takes people working on their channel about 2 or 3 years to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watched hours. So not everyone has the ability to do this, but this is how you would, this is a requirement that you have to have before Google will allow you to have ads on your, or have paid ads on your site. All right, let me give you an example on how this would work with my apple pie story. Now, let's say you have a new YouTube channel, you've never made a YouTube video before. The first thing is you have the best apple pie recipe in the world. Let's say you truly do have the best apple pie recipe. Let's say you make the best video on how to make your apple pie. And you now upload this video to your YouTube channel. You ask your wife to have a look at it and tell you how the video looks, and she does. She logs on and looks at it and tells you it's a great video. So here's the question. You ask your wife to look at the video, and after 2 weeks, how many videos on YouTube do you have? You can think about that now. It's a question. The answer is 1, because nobody's found your video except your wife, who of course saw it. The next thing that happens is you email 20 of your friends. You say, hey, I made this great video. Please watch it. How many views would you have after 2 weeks? What's the answer? The answer is, well, less than 20, maybe about 10. Now you've had it up there, you have the best apple pie and the best video, and no one's seen it. All right, now you go onto your social media, you go to Facebook, and you have 2,000 Facebook friends, whatever you want to call them, and you say to those 2,000 people, please look at my great apple pie video. I have the great apples pie in the world. And when you do that, I want you to click like and subscribe to my channel. Please, please, please do that. All right, now the question is, how many views would you have in another 2 weeks? Watch the answer now. Well, the answer would be less than 2,000, but all have subscribed and like. Okay, of course, you're using social media now to get more people to come to your site. All right, you wait a further 2 weeks. How many views would you have? Let's have a look. Millions. Why? Well, because what happens is when all your friends went over and in a short time subscribed and liked, the Google algorithm that watches all the YouTube videos took note. And all that is a very high number of people to subscribe and like. So the search ranking all of a sudden went up to the top. So when people were searching on internet or on YouTube for apple pie, you would come up as one of the first. And then they would share that, because remember, you have the best apple pie in the world, and they would share that. And that's how you get your videos promoted on YouTube. All right, let's look at the second way you can make money, and this is through Patreon support. Patreon is a company that was formed in 2013 by Jack Conte and Sam Yam. And Patreon will send out about $500 million to their memberships in 2019. So what happens with Patreon is a company. And it collects money and gives it back to the content creators. All right, it's an easy way of you supporting the content creators. And I'm going to give you 2 examples of this. Now, I'm sure you all know Steve Dotto from Dottotech. Steve Dotto has been around for a long time and has had one of the more successful YouTube channels on internet. He works very hard and has a professional staff. Steve has about 1,000 Patreon supporters paying him about $10 a month. This adds to about $10,000 a month that he has revenue from Patreon support. I am a Patreon supporter because I believe in his high quality webinar Wednesdays. I watch them every week and learn a lot from them. So I support his channel because I believe in what he's doing. He does have a staff of 4 and a lot of equipment to manage. But this is how he funds his channel. He probably makes some money from ad revenue, but primarily his support for this service is through Patreon support. The next was Project Atticus, and we talked about that last week. Project Atticus is Desiree and Jordan traveling around the world, and they are producing high quality videos to send back about their travels. Again, this is costly. They have drones, they have a lot of expensive camera equipment, so they have Patreon support. There's a little different. They charge per video, all right? And they make, and so you can pay per video, but you can limit it to 2 videos a month. So I probably pay around $10 a month to support their channel and what they're doing. I'm a sailor. I've done a lot of sailing in my life, and they're doing some really cool stuff, and I'd like to support them. And Patreon support is an easy way that you can do it to support their channel. Now, the last way is, of course, selling merchandise and personal services. An example of this might be how to make or edit a video. You could, or a website, you could put up and do a seminar on that, and at the bottom of the description, you could have, and you could consult me for personal video making or website consultant. So you can use that to promote your own services. And that's the third way that you can make money. In summary, there's 3 ways to make money. There's ad revenue, there's Patreon sponsorship, and there's selling your merchandise or personal services. If you like the video, click the like and please subscribe. Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors. Okay. Let's turn that off. Okay, so if you want to make your fortune, on YouTube, there you go. What can I tell you about Patreon? It's a way. We talked a little bit about that before. It's a way of collecting and distributing money out to content creators. And it works, and as I said, I probably sponsor probably about 4 or 5 channels. I watch them all the time, and it's very interesting. We talked about this last week with the group, and you know, it was interesting the number of people that sponsor channels. I mean, whether you want to go hiking in the Himalayas, whether you want to do camping, maybe you have an RV and you're going around and you're doing RVing, and you have a YouTube channel and you produce videos and have them out onto the channel. It certainly is it's a great way to support people who are producing stuff that you're interested in. I always remember when you go and watch a YouTube video, please remember that somebody has worked very, very, very hard to make that video. And sometimes they've had drones, they've had all sorts of camera stuff they've done. They've put, you know, a lot of time and effort into producing that video. And for sure, please like it, you know, it helps them with their channel. And I often, if they have and certainly if you're interested in the channel and want to keep coming back, then certainly consider subscribing. And if you believe in what they're doing and want to give them a little bit of money each month, then Patreon is a great way to do that. All right. Do we have, and we've got a bunch of empty screens out there. Did everyone leave? Do we have any questions? We're at top of the hour now. I think Lisa's gone. So do we have any questions?
Well, thank you for the talk.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Good. All right. Well, if there are no further questions, we'll till we see you again. Enjoy your Easter weekend.
Thank you. Several of us are off to the next meeting.
All right. Bye-bye now.